Ozark Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am, you're rewatching, you're watching Ozark, or you're just not entirely sure, you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And I have finished watching all of Ozark Season 4 Part 2, just getting caught up on the reviews. If you're a fan of Ozark, or perhaps The Walking Dead, Dexter, Dexter New Blood, Big Bang Theory, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, soon to be Better Call Saul, UFC live fight reactions, or if you just want to help me out with that YouTube algorithm, make sure you smash that like button. I'll wait while you smash it. It doesn't take very long. Sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this particular episode of Ozark. What would you score the episode out of 10, and whom would be your character of the episode? Maybe your favorite moment as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're already watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your support, and be a part of something special. So this will be Ozark Season 4, Episode 11. The title of this episode is called Pound of Flesh and Still Kickin'. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start off with Marty watching as Arturo's blood is being cleaned up. And then Marty decides to throw the tennis ball a few times for the Navarro's dog, because the dog needs some exercise and nobody else seems to be playing with it. Camilla has a request to see Omar since he's hurt. Marty says he'll see what he can do. Wendy goes to visit Schaefer, the crooked politician who knows that Shaw Medical pulled out of the donation. Ruth flies on a plane to Miami. Why was she going to Miami? This kind of didn't really make much sense. This was thrown in there, and I believe just for fan service alone. However, I'm very excited to mention that she went to Miami to see Rachel. Rachel from Season 1 and 2 that owned the Blue Cat. Rachel is now mostly blonde, and Rachel is one of my favorite characters on Ozark. And Rachel mentions to Ruth that she hadn't seen her in over a year. Marty is back from Mexico. Charlotte is very happy to see Marty and to see that he actually survived. Charlotte says Ruth called and wants to set up a meeting as she's willing to play ball. Marty thinks that Camilla is the one that actually ordered the hit on Omar Navarro. Marty goes to see Jonah at the motel as he's with Nathan, and Jonah says that Grandpa is pretty cool and not nearly as bad as Mom, Wendy, makes him out to be. Marty tells Jonah he misses him at the house. Ruth brings Rachel into the meeting with Marty and Wendy. Marty, of course, seems very happy to see Rachel, and I'm surprised that they didn't officially hook up other than just kiss. And Wendy quickly interrupts that because she's annoyed with that. Wendy is such an evil bitch. Ruth says she wants to buy Marty and Wendy out of the Missouri Belle. She says she knows the place better than they do, which I guess is true. Rachel, in this conversation, mentions to Wendy that she's sober now because they said that Ruth was dealing Darlene's drugs, her heroin. And then Rachel finds this out, so she wants to back out once she learns of Ruth killing Javi. And Ruth says that, what are you going to go back to selling window shades for the rest of your life? Mel Saddam is at Ruth's with more questions regarding Ben's disappearance when Ruth gets there. Agent Clay of the FBI lets Marty know that Navarro is awake from his coma. So Marty goes to visit Navarro, and Marty returns home to see Nelson and says that Marty has a guest. It's Camilla. You know, I don't know what it is about this Camilla character, but her acting, in my opinion, is really bad. Her facial expressions are very bland and boring. My opinion, just something I've noticed since watching her. And all this whole meeting and everything was, of course, done by Wendy and set up by Wendy. At the motel, Sam it seems like he has a hard time folding towels as he's there with Ruth folding towels. Rachel goes to visit someone, and it's Tuck. Complete fan service again. They brought Rachel back, which didn't really make sense at all for Ruth to go get her. Maybe it makes sense if you really dig into it, but it doesn't for what they showed in the episode. And then, of course, Rachel goes to visit Tuck. Tuck is very happy to see Rachel. Tuck no longer works at the Blue Cat. He mentions to Rachel. So after this conversation, Rachel calls Marty and complains that Tuck doesn't work at the Blue Cat anymore. And then Rachel calls Marty a selfish asshole. Wendy goes to visit Claire at Shaw Medical. Marty meets with FBI agent Clay of the. She's upset that the money truck was empty, and Marty says it was a judgment call. Wendy gets Claire back in the fold due to Camilla showing up. Rachel goes to see Ruth and wants to be partners again. She says she doesn't want to go back to Florida due to dating too many guys with pet pythons. Okay. When Ruth filed to be Wyatt's legal guardian, that made her to the heir to everything Wyatt related, and she certainly has a stake for the Missouri Belle because of Darlene and Wyatt getting married. Rachel and Ruth go to Jonah to find out who Marty and Wendy lobby to get all their support for the Missouri Belle. Nathan Davis and Mel Sadden show up at Marty and Wendy's to ask more questions about Ben. God, would they just fucking give it up? My God. Charlotte asks Marty how Chicago was. Marty says it was normal. Marty tells Charlotte Wendy is steering them off of a cliff. Wendy's just fucking Breaking Bad. You know, she's been Breaking Bad. She's worse than Walter White at this point. Charlotte says maybe they should try to see the marriage counselor again, and Marty says she's no longer an option. I don't recall if Marty knows that she's dead by Nelson, but yeah, she's not in the fold anymore. And then when Nathan gets back to the motel, he asks his wife, I think, I don't remember what her title is to him, to leave the room. And then he throws the remote control because he's angry, but the throw was really bad. I would have edited that out and refilmed that particular scene. And then he starts drinking. Rachel and Ruth go see Charles Wilkes. Mel Satton talks to Maya about seeing Nelson at the Birds, and she tells him that he's a hitman for the cartel. Wendy and Marty bring Camilla to see Navarro, finally, gets what she wants. And then during a traffic jam, Marty tried to take a shortcut, and they ended up in a jam. Marty flips out on a guy because he's got some, anger issues because he wants them to go and speed up. Where can they go? There's nowhere to go. I don't know why the guy's being so impatient. But Marty actually punches him. Of course, he's really hurt after that, but then this guy attacks Wendy and calls Wendy names, so Marty goes after him and, in Marty's way, kicks the shit out of this guy and beats him up, which ends the episode. So there's some things I really liked about this episode. There's some things that don't necessarily make sense in the episode, but all in all, I think this was a good episode for fan service. Like I mentioned, the return of Rachel, fucking awesome. The return of Tuck, fucking awesome. I'm going to score the episode 8.6 out of 10. And the character of the episode, I was leaning towards Wendy, but because of the end of the episode, I'm going to have to go with Marty, because Marty is fucking awesome. So, you've, again, heard what I have to say, and I'll repeat, it's your turn. If you're a fan of Ozark or anything else that's on JDev TV, which is completely random, I do a lot of stuff. I don't have a particular niche, at least at the moment. Make sure you smash that like button. Again, I'll wait. Doesn't take long. If you want to share this video with anybody you know, or perhaps any of your social media platforms, please do so. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Ozark. What would you score it out of 10, and who would be your character of the episode? And if you want to leave your favorite moment, that's fine. Obviously, Rachel returning was fucking awesome. Wasn't sure if Rachel was going to come back, but they did bring the actress back. And I know, obviously, that she's in the rest of the show until the end there. The 3 more episodes that are left. And, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're already watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.